Welcome once again to another edition of The Sage. Thank you for being with us. As usual, I'm your guide on this show, Dr. Kechi Obuago. What a journey. What a journey of discovery. We've had the unparalleled pleasure of accompanying you as we uncovered treasures in our people. People with hidden talents, people with beautiful talents, hard, industrious, hardworking people, young and old, who have shared their journey with us. It's been such a wonderful journey. Today, our issue is going back to the concept of creative arts. And our particular show today is about music. It's about singing. You know, when I reflect, I say to myself that when God created the human being, and one of the earliest things the human being must have done was to learn to socialize. You speak, but I think you also sing. Because singing is such a powerful tool of communicating the most positive things ever. Love, joy, happiness, endearment, passion, ambition, name it. There are some who have said, some wise sages, that when you sing, you actually pray twice. That is the power of singing. Singing brings out the best in us, creates peace in our hearts, in our minds, in our soul, helps us love one another. And it isn't just talk. There's now a great deal of evidence, actually. Scientific, researched evidence that shows that singing activates positive vibrations in the brain. And these vibrations do many wonderful things. It's been shown to improve senility and Alzheimer's disease in the elderly. It's been shown to speed up healing and sometimes, in fact, heal physical ailments and, of course, mental ailments as well. It's been shown to be effective in children with emotional and behavioral disorders. Yes, singing is such a powerful gift. It's such a powerful tool. Is it little wonder that when a country wants something that unifies it absolutely, it creates a national anthem? Anthems are songs. Is it a wonder that when a team of athletes, for instance, want to perform at their best and want to make sure they function as a unified team, they sing. They sing. Football fans know that too well. And so, yes, singing is so important in our lives. It's such an important tool for positive change. And so, we bring you today's show with a great deal of pleasure, a great deal of pride. We are indeed privileged to have an amazing young person on set today. A person with amazing singing talent. We promise you that this show will thrill you. This show will uplift you. This show will transport you to heaven. Emotionally, that is. Stay with us. You'll meet our guests and you will enjoy the songs in the next segment. Thank you for having stayed with us. And before I introduce our fantastic guests to you, I am going to give you a taste of this splendid young man. Listen to him, and then I will tell you who he is.
Nella fantasia io vedo un mondo giusto, lì tutti vivono in pace e onestà. Io sogno d'anime che sono sempre libere, come le navole che volano pianto in fondo
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with utmost pleasure that I introduce Mr. Frank Okoye to you.
Thank you very much, Mom.
Welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
I promised you you're in for a roller coaster journey of pleasure. Mr. Frank Okoye is a distinguished performer. I like to say he's our own homegrown Andre Bocelli, Frank Sinatra, Pavarotti, all rolled in one. Frank, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you for agreeing to be with us.
Thank
you for your promise to thrill us with many more songs ahead.
You're welcome, man.
Before I ask Frank to talk to us, tell us about yourself, tell us who you are, tell us. Before you do that, let me introduce you a little, because sometimes you might not say all those things.
Yeah.
Frank began his musical journey professionally at the age of 15 when he produced his first record. He has sang in almost all the inaugurations of the Nigerian presidents within his own time. He's a relatively young man. He sang in different countries, in different fara. He has been at the American Cuba Disco Festival. He's also performed before many African presidents. He's made many, many wonderful appearances in distinguished ceremonies, be they weddings or burials and so on. Frank has also attended a reality show called Hymnodia, in which he effortlessly won the section of the program that was on music. Frank, believe it or not, studied estate management, and yet his passion, his talents, his skills have led him, without looking back, to music. That is our remarkable guest, Frank Okoye. Welcome, Frank, once again to the stage.
Thank you very much, Mom.
I can't wait for you to tell us, how did you become this progeny that you are? But before you do that, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Thank you. Welcome back. It's well worth your wait. Frank is now going to talk to us. Tell us, you didn't wake up someday and begin to perform before August audiences. How did you start? Where did this all come from?
It's all about passion. When I was a boy growing up in the East, I found out I like music. I like classical and all those, especially Jim Reeves songs. Yeah. As a boy, I learned them all. I used to sing as a small boy, but have not really learned volume control.
At that time?
At that time.
Okay.
So anytime I open my mouth, the roof will be blowing off. So I used to have problems with my parents because of the noise. They saw it as noise. But me, I'm seeing it as something that I cannot do without.
You just had to.
Oh. So I actually realized what I have on a very good day when I was washing plates under the rain. And then I was just enjoying myself, singing on top of my voice.
At the top of
So we had a visitor then, the Reverend Father, who was also a very good family friend. So he overheard the singing, and then he was asking my dad, who's that singer? You really need to hear how my father qualified the noise. He said, you see, it's this boy that is always disturbing everybody in this whole compound. Go and tell him to say, the priest now cautioned him that it's not noise. I actually like it. Get him, let me be sure that this voice is coming from within. That was how they brought me. They called me. I came before the priest. The priest now, showed, how
impressed,
how joyful, how,
okay.
He now ordered me to go clean up, change into a very beautiful clothes. That I'm going to the parish house with him. That was where it all started.
Wow.
And the priest took me to the parish house, to his cook, who was not a Nigerian. And then she taught me songs. And then from there, he mandated I perform in the mass the following Sunday. And that was how it all began. People started dashing me money, started inviting me for their programs to come and call that boy to sing one song. Call that boy to sing this. Call that boy to sing that. Call that. And
the journey began.
The so-called noise by my father became good music. Though I've not been trained well then. Mm-hmm. So the priest took me and we traveled to London.
Really?
For a wedding. Yeah. For a wedding there, I got some instructions from musicians who had started doing it before me. Mm-hmm. And then that was where it all started. And then came back, invitations from here and there to come and sing. And then he started yielding me, fetching me some cash. Mm-hmm. And that was how I, sussed into getting some more training, stage performances, mm-hmm. charisma, voice production, and control, and what have you. So I think that's how it all started.
Wow. And I remember talking to you some time ago, and you also talked about that not only was it just an issue of performances and singing, But it was also a help towards your higher education. Is that correct?
That part of the story is the most interesting part
Okay.
of the story. Because my parents were not very rich then. So, school fees, it started from my primary education. Towards the end, from primary 4, primary 5, I started paying my school fees by myself. From primary 4, 5. Of course, I wrote my common entrance in primary 5. Finished the common entrance and then entered secondary school. Kept paying my school fees all through.
From what you were getting from the singing?
Yeah, from singing. As a non-professional. Because, of course, what people know as professional is when you go to school and study music, get certificates, become a doctor, professor, all those things. I mean, so I have not really done all those then.
This was just from your amazing talents.
Talent and some little training from elders in music. So, and passion. So it's kept on growing like that until I got an invitation from the former vice president then of the blessed memory, Alex Ekwueme then, to come to his church during harvest then. That was after my secondary school. I wrote Jam by myself, sponsored by me. Then, after the performance at the Anglican Church in Oko, St. John the Divine Oko, then I got another invitation from the same man to Abuja for a Christmas carol. Ladies and gentlemen, that Christmas carol was what I'm still in till today. In Abuja.
Okay.
When I got to the Christmas carol at David Mark's house, more people invited me to other programs, concerts, and what have you.
But it just, because you were so good. I mean, it just shows the quality of what you were producing.
God gave it to me. And sent that priest to help me nurture it. If it were only for my parents and those that saw it as noise then, I may not have gotten where I am today. Gotten to where I am today. But God knows how to plan things for each and every of his creatures. Yes, I thank him.
You know what you just said strikes a chord, somewhere. Because some time ago in our program, we had Dike Chukwumerije, also who is so talented with poetry and so on. And he also made a similar statement in which he said that when you find that God's giving you an amazing gift, that gift is meant to be shared. It's not meant to be kept in there, but to be shared with the world.
Yeah.
And I think in a way that's what you are saying, really.
Yes, exactly. Because when people enjoy what you do, it means you're good at it. And then you also need to be building on it, developing it. Learning doesn't stop until you die. So you keep developing it with humility. Humility played a very big role in my life till date. So I kept building it then. It was a client that loved what I was doing that trained me in the higher institution.
Amazing.
Gave me first registration fee to go and register and start schooling. And then I now had to be working hard to see myself through everyday expenses in school, handouts and what have you. Of course, you can't tell anybody to give you everything.
Yeah. You had other expenses.
As a reasonable young man, you have to also work hard to survive. So in school then, I did all sorts of things. Going for programs from school. I will come to Abuja because it was actually at the Federal Polytechnic, Nasarawa. So most times I will come to Abuja do some run-arounds in the streets, sing from house to house, go for programs, get some small money, and then I'll go back and make use of it to my favor. And then fewer times I do some buying and selling. So I sold rice in school. So music gave me that power to find myself wherever I want to be, with some good advice and directives from elders, being a humble boy.
Yes, it takes humility, but wisdom to know you should look for advice and direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Music as a talent and a career to me is everything after God. I mean, it gave me all I have today. Wherever I've been to in my life, it took me there. I mean, to almost 5 to 6 to 7 countries in the world to sing, just to sing.
Now you've tempted me. Now you've emphasized to sing. I'm going to make you do one more, even before we go on. Stay with us. When we come back, Frank is just going to give us one more song to whet our appetite, and then we will continue the discussion. Thank you for having been with us.
Now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, and I'll state my case, of which I'm certain that I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and I saw it through without exemption. Then I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I have loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fills, my share of losing, and now as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, 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 not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the ones of one who kneels. The record show I took the blows and did it my way.
Woo! Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
To our viewers, I promised you were going to enjoy, and there's still a lot more to come. Frank is in such a good mood that he's promised to oblige. Tonight, we're getting a seat to the opera for free. And so he has a lot more in stock. And we have a lot more to ask. Let me just start with asking for people out there who may want to follow your shining example. How difficult is it to become a professional musician? What would you advise them?
I don't think it's too difficult like that. I mean, following what I said about how I got to where I am, I mean, it wasn't too hard by the grace of God. Get the talent. If your talent is singing, it mustn't be singing, but some people still like singing and indulge in it. Get the certificates, go to school, read music, get the certificate, and then practice it with humility. And then showcase yourself, just like we're doing now. You know, with what we're doing now, a lot who has not known about what is going on in my life and the career itself will know. So, it's not that difficult if you have the interest and the passion. Just like one of my mentors taught me that time. He said, before you can go far in this career, you must have 50% I want to sing, 20% I like where I want to sing, and then the rest, the 30% is I want to learn.
I want to learn.
Yes.
That is wisdom.
Yes. So, with all those things, it will help you, because most youths of nowadays doesn't see this our genre of music as what they would like to do. They like those jumping up and down.
The hip
hop. Hip hop. So, but me, from childhood, I don't like such noise.
You call it noise. Now you've joined your parents.
No, I won't. I apologize for calling it noise, but it's also music. It's also a genre of music. You know, I like, very good, cool music, classical, and then I like to catch messages from every song. So that's why I started liking Jim Reeves, then Frank Sinatra, just like the song I just did, My Way by Frank Sinatra. You saw the way it was flowing, like a storyline. So that's the type I like. And then classicals. Musical artists like Luciano Pavarotti, Andrea Bocelli, and so many of them that sing classical songs, blues, jazz, and all that. So I think it's not very difficult to get this if you have the interest.
So true. The important thing is to have the talent and the passion, and then to be brave enough to pursue it as a career. As I discussed and chatted with Frank in the past, he has a pride in his life, someone that makes his face break out in smiles and joy when you bring the discussion up. Frank has a beautiful, beautiful young daughter who is just 1 year old. We're going to ask him a little about that to share the joys of her with us. But before then, we will take a break. In fact, we're taking a long break because till next week, when we will be discussing more with Frank, when he will share a little of that personal joy of his with us, and when he has promised to thrill us with many more songs. Stay with us. Don't miss next week. There's a great deal of enjoyment ahead. See you.